Boz stirs the pot and Kyle confides in Kathy in RHOBH preview. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 14 has been on fire. However, RHOBH fans haven't seen anything yet as the fallout of Kyle Richards' text messages to Paul P.K. Kemsley ripped the group apart. The latest preview video for the Bravo show teases Bazoma St. John's Serenity Soiree event will be anything but healing. Dorit Kemsley is already not interested in having a mediation day with these women before she gets some news from Boz. Before the event, Boz decides it would be the perfect time to talk to Dorit about Kyle and PK's texts. Nothing says calm like getting Dorit even more angry at Kyle than she already is, that's for sure. Boz stirs the pot on RHOBH. Via FaceTime, Dorit's not surprised to learn about the text because Erica Jane filled her on it. However, Erica had quite a different take on things than Boz, which gets Dorit riled up. Boz feels there's more to the text story than she initially thought. Adding more fuel to the fire is Bo's irritation that Kyle only read the text to certain people. It doesn't sit right with Boz that Kyle read the text to everyone but Dorit and her. This, of course, has Dorit fuming and screaming into the phone. Why am I the last to know? Oh yeah, this day of healing will go really well once Dorit sees Kyle and the rest of the gang. Kyle reaches out to Kathy for support. Over at Kyle's house, she FaceTimes with her sister, Kathy Hilton, to do a little venting of her own. Kyle immediately mentions her fight with Dorit and her texts with PK, which have become all the rage on RHOBH. Kathy encourages Kyle not to let the fight or Dorit ruin her day. Kyle plans to ignore Dorit, which we all know will go over well. Honestly, no one seems excited for this day of serenity, but at least they are faking it. Erica arrives at Bo's with Kyle soon to follow, and it's smiles all around. Meanwhile, Garcelle, Sutton Strack, and Jennifer Tilly further prove that healing and serenity are the furthest things from their minds. In a van, they gossip about Kyle being armed and ready to take on Dorit again over the text drama. Thanks to the Next On preview, we know that Kyle walks out on the group, declaring she's done filming. As Monsters and Critics previously reported, Kyle quit the show briefly for the first time in her RHOBH career. Season 14 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills has reached the halfway point as the drama reaches an all-time high, and we are here for it. The air in Beverly Hills was crisp, with the sun casting golden rays over the palm-lined streets. Yet in the sprawling mansions of its most famous housewives, the mood was anything but sunny. The drama had been simmering for weeks, but tonight it threatened to boil over, thanks to one unexpected catalyst: Boz, the charming but mischievous friend who had a knack for stirring the pot. The camera panned to Kyle Richards, seated in her elegantly decorated living room. She wore a sleek white blazer, her hair perfectly tousled. Despite her polished appearance, her eyes revealed a hint of weariness. Across from her sat Kathy Hilton, her older sister, dressed in a flowing pastel dress that seemed at odds with the tension in the room. "Kyle, darling, you've been quiet all evening," Kathy began, her voice soft but probing. "What's on your mind?" Kyle sighed, glancing at the crystal glass of sparkling water in her hand. "It's Boz," she admitted, setting the glass down on the coffee table. "He's stirring things up again." Kathy raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "Oh? What did he do this time?" The scene cut to a flashback from the previous evening at Dorit's dinner party. The housewives had gathered at her opulent home, the table adorned with flickering candles and lavish floral arrangements. Everyone had arrived dressed to impress, their outfits as bold as their personalities. Boz, a dashing figure in a velvet blazer, had been a last-minute addition to the guest list, and it quickly became clear why. Buzz had a way with words, effortlessly charming everyone with his quick wit and disarming smile. But beneath his charismatic exterior lay a penchant for chaos. As the wine flowed, so did the secrets. Buzz had taken it upon himself to remind everyone of past grievances, weaving them into the evening's conversation as if they were harmless anecdotes. So Erica, Buzz had begun, leaning back in his chair with a mischievous grin. I heard you and Dorid had a bit of a disagreement about that charity event last month. Care to enlighten us? Erica's icy stare could have frozen the entire table. That's old news, Buzz, she replied coolly, her voice dripping with disdain. And not worth revisiting. But Buzz wasn't one to let things go. Oh, come on. We're all friends here, he said, his tone playful yet persistent. A little clarity never hurt anyone. The room had erupted into chaos as old wounds were reopened and alliances were tested. By the end of the night, everyone was either fuming or in tears, and Buzz had somehow managed to walk away unscathed, a satisfied smirk playing on his lips. Back in Kyle's living room, she recounted the events to Kathy, her frustration evident. He knows exactly what he's doing, Kyle said, her voice rising slightly. And he's so good at it. He makes it seem like he's just being curious or funny. But really, he's throwing grenades and watching us all explode. Kathy nodded thoughtfully. Buzz does have a way of stirring the pot, she admitted. But why let it get to you? You've dealt with worse. Kyle hesitated, her gaze dropping to her lap. It's not just what he's saying, she confessed. It's what it's doing to the group. I've worked so hard to keep the peace, and now it feels like everything's falling apart. Kathy reached over and placed a reassuring hand on Kyle's. You can't control what everyone else does, Kyle. All you can do is stay true to yourself. Kyle looked up, her eyes glistening. It's hard. I feel like I'm constantly being pulled in different directions. And with everything that's happened between us, I'm scared of losing more people I care about. The mention of their own strained relationship hung in the air, unspoken but palpable. Kathy's expression softened, and she gave Kyle's hand a gentle squeeze. You're stronger than you think, little sister, Kathy said. And you're not alone in this. We may not always see eye to eye, but I'm here for you. Kyle smiled faintly, her heart warmed by the rare moment of vulnerability between them. Thanks, Kathy. That means a lot. Just then, Kyle's phone buzzed on the table. She glanced at the screen and groaned. It's Buzz. He wants to meet for coffee. Kathy's eyes twinkled with amusement. Well, are you going? Kyle hesitated, then shrugged. I guess I have to. Someone needs to figure out what he's up to. Just be careful, Kathy warned, her tone light but sincere. And maybe bring a fire extinguisher, just in case he throws another grenade. Kyle laughed despite herself, the tension easing ever so slightly. Noted, she said, grabbing her phone and standing up. Wish me luck. As Kyle left the room, the camera lingered on Kathy, who watched her sister with a mix of pride and concern. The drama in Beverly Hills was far from over, but for now, the bond between these two sisters remained unbroken, a small but significant victory in a world where alliances were as fleeting as the California sunshine.